It's an 8-armed octopus. And if you take just out, that arm will grow back. You have to take that.
8 arms, 1 head.
Saying that there are people that were the people that did this to both me and Corey that are still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in...
Not only by the perpetrators that have me, but also by society.
He ordered 330 gallons of sulfuric acid.
What?
Yes, he ordered 6 55-gallon drums of sulfuric acid to be delivered to the island.
The day after his indictment
But here's what nobody is connecting. Coreyfeldman has spent 30 years screaming into the void about an organized network preying on children in Hollywood. Now, Morgan Freeman is reportedly standing beside him, shining a light on one of the most protected figures in media, Oprah Winfrey, and her alleged ties to Jeffrey Epstein's inner circle. The same island, the same silence, the same system. What really happened on Little St. James? And who was protected while victims were silenced? This is the story the machine tried to bury. Let's go all the way back to the 1980s, the golden era of child stardom that America fell in love with. Movies like The Goonies, Stand By Me, The Lost Boys, and Gremlins made Coreyfeldman a household name. To millions of families, he represented pure childhood innocence sold on the big screen. But the moment the cameras stopped rolling, Feldman says a different reality emerged, one filled with older, powerful men who circled child actors like vultures. According to Feldman, these weren't isolated predators acting alone. He described a tightly connected system where access to children was treated as a commodity. In exchange for providing or facilitating that access, participants received career advancement, industry protection, and above all, enforced silence. He has repeatedly stated that thousands of people in Hollywood knew what was happening but chose to stay quiet, not out of fear of awkwardness, but because the system was designed to punish anyone who spoke out. In one raw moment captured on record, Feldman expressed the frustration that still echoes today. Thousands of people in Hollywood who have the same information. Why me? Why is it if I don't release the names, I'm the bad guy? I'm the victim here. I'm the one who's been abused. I'm the one who's trying to come forward and do something about it. That system, Feldman has warned for decades, operates like an 8-armed octopus. Cut off one arm and another grows back unless you strike the head. The Hollywood arm preyed on child actors through casting calls, parties, and on-set mentorships. But according to broader allegations now surfacing in federal documents and survivor accounts, that arm connected to political power, financial elites, media gatekeepers, and ultimately to a private island in the Little St. James wasn't a vacation paradise.
It's an 8-armed octopus. And if you take just out, that arm will grow back. You have to take that.
8 arms, 1 head.
Satellite imagery, DOJ released photos, and multiple survivor testimonies describe a controlled environment where passports were confiscated, staff were allegedly bribed, and escape was made nearly impossible. When Epstein's documents were unsealed, the public expected famous names attached. What emerged instead were layers that forced many to question how power truly operates. Among the most disturbing elements were emails using food-based code words: beef jerky, white tuna, pizza, grape soda. On the surface, innocent grocery items. In context, quantities by the pound, storage instructions, refrigeration, transportation to labs. The language raised immediate red flags. One email referenced 68 pounds of jerky in my freezer, and another discussed sending batches to the lab. Investigators and analysts who reviewed the correspondence concluded that the logistics simply did not align with literal snack food production. Adding to the speculation was the involvement of Chef Francis Darby, whose name appears in emails with Epstein discussing recipes, preparation methods, and storage for items on the island. Darby owned a meat-focused restaurant chain called The Cannibal. While the restaurant served conventional cuisine, and no one claims it literally served anything illicit, the combination of the restaurant's name and the coded island communications has fueled intense online discussion and calls for deeper scrutiny. Critics and independent researchers point out that these communications occurred alongside other documented anomalies, large orders of industrial chemicals and references to clinical-like procedures. One particularly chilling detail involves an order placed the day after Epstein's 2018 indictment: 330 gallons of sulfuric acid delivered in 6 55-gallon drums to the island. Investigators noted that such a quantity far exceeds typical maintenance needs for a private property. Handwritten journal entries from victims, described by investigators as highly credible due to alignment with known facts, describe experiences involving medical settings, pain, and outcomes that that have never been officially accounted for. One entry reportedly includes a sonogram image with the haunting notation she is gone and she won't be coming back. These accounts have led to speculation about surrogacy operations, unrecorded pregnancies, and worse, possibilities that remain unproven but continue to surface as documents are released.
He ordered 330 gallons of sulfuric acid.
What?
Yes, he ordered 6 55-gallon drums of sulfuric acid to be delivered to the island.
The day after his indictment in
Coreyfeldman wasn't just talking about his own experiences. He spent over $1 million of his own money to produce the documentary, My Truth, The Rape of Two Coreys. Naming specific individuals he alleged he has always maintained those names represented only one arm of a much larger operation. The same network he described has reportedly appeared in later scandals, including the Nickelodeon allegations detailed in Quiet on Set and ongoing Diddy-related lawsuits that mention overlapping geography in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, according to the emerging narrative, Morgan Freeman has stepped forward alongside Feldman to highlight a figure whose influence has allegedly helped maintain the wall of silence: Oprah Winfrey. Epstein's declassified documents reportedly included Oprah's name among social connections, prompting questions about how someone with such documented elite ties avoided deeper federal scrutiny. Oprah built one of the most powerful media empires in history. Her platform has shaped public opinion on everything from politics to personal wellness. In 2002, she featured guests pushing claims about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, including voices linked to Iraqi defectors. When audience members expressed skepticism, Oprah reportedly pushed back, framing the discussion as simply presenting facts. Morgan Freeman has previously criticized this as helping manufacture public support for the invasion, demonstrating how her influence could steer national conversations. Critics argue this same power was allegedly used closer to home. Oprah's Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa, opened in 2007 with promises of empowerment, faced multiple controversies almost immediately. A matron was charged with inappropriate touching of students. Oprah personally intervened to fire the headmistress. In 2011, authorities investigated the discovery of a newborn's body in a student's bag. No charges were filed. Over the years, persistent online rumors, amplified on platforms like TikTok and X, have claimed multiple students went missing, with limited mainstream coverage. South Africa's documented missing persons crisis provides a troubling backdrop that makes these rumors difficult for some to dismiss outright.
And I'm tired.
There are people that were the people that did this to both me and Corey that are still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people.
Layer in additional allegations, resurfaced 1998 footage of Oprah at a Diddy birthday event alongside other elites, including Donald Trump. While attendance at a party alone proves nothing, Feldman has long described Hollywood and elite parties as environments where predators allegedly operated with impunity. Recent lawsuits connected to Diddy have mentioned yachts traveling to the U.S. Virgin Islands, the same region as Epstein's Island, creating geographic overlaps that fuel speculation about interconnected circles. Oprah's massive land holdings in Hawaii have also drawn criticism. During wildfires, locals reportedly asked to use her private roads for evacuation, only to find them locked. After the devastating 2023 fires, accusations intensified that she was pricing native residents out while maintaining a philanthropist image. Her public discussions about weight loss and related controversies have similarly been accused of controlling the narrative while glossing over access barriers faced by ordinary people. The pattern critics highlight is consistent. Challenges to the official story, and whether from Monique, Taraji P. Henson, or broader internet scrutiny, are often met with denial, deflection, or media silence. Barbara Walters' infamous interview where she cut Feldman off mid-sentence is cited as an example of the same silencing tactics allegedly mirrored at higher levels. Feldman has emphasized that many of the individuals he says participated in or enabled the abuse of him and Corey Haim remain active and influential, among the richest and most powerful in the industry and society. He claims the protection comes not just from individual loyalty, but from mutual implication. Once someone participates in the system, their silence is guaranteed because everyone shares the same compromising knowledge.
Dozens of people in Hollywood who have the same information. Why me?
Why is it if I don't release the names in the next 2 months, 6 months, or a year, I'm the bad guy? I'm the victim here.
This brings us to the current moment. The Diddy investigations have forced mainstream audiences to confront the possibility of organized abuse at celebrity parties. Quiet on set confirmed patterns Feldman had described for years regarding Nickelodeon. Epstein documents continue to be unsealed, producing new names and questions with every release. Excavations at properties like Zorro Ranch in New Mexico are reportedly ongoing, searching for evidence tied to alleged activities. Feldman's 2020 documentary was, according to those close to him, only the version of the story he could prove at the time. Sources suggest he continues compiling testimonies and connections between the Hollywood network and larger operations allegedly linked to Epstein's island. If Morgan Freeman is indeed aligning with Feldman to highlight Oprah's alleged role in shielding parts of this system, it represents a significant crack in the wall of protection. The sulfuric acid order, the code word emails, the journal entries, the unaccounted for pregnancies described in victim accounts, all remain part of the federal record. Whether these point to literal consumption rituals, organ-related activities, or extreme anti-aging practices pursued without ethical boundaries is still debated. What is clear is that the obsession with youth and vitality at the highest levels has been discussed openly in mainstream contexts, from plasma transfusions to stem cell therapies to controversial cosmetic products derived from biological materials. Feldman has gestured at this darker spectrum for years, describing an environment where power believes it is entitled to things ordinary people cannot access. When combined with zero accountability and isolated locations designed for control, the outcomes become difficult for many to process. The arms of the octopus are being cut one by one. Weinstein, Epstein's operation, the Nickelodeon scandals, the Diddy cases. Each exposure makes the next one slightly easier. The silence is becoming harder to maintain as documents surface and whistleblowers feel the conditions shifting. Yet the head of the network, according to Feldman and those echoing his warnings, remains protected. The question is no longer whether Coreyfeldman was right. He has been vindicated on Weinstein timing, on Nickelodeon patterns, on the culture of silence. The question is, how much longer the system that buried his warnings can continue to function as more pieces of the puzzle emerge?
It's an 8-armed octopus. And if you take just out, that arm will grow back. You have to take that.
8 arms, 1 head.
Morgan Freeman's reported involvement adds weight, having previously called out Oprah's role in shaping narratives around major geopolitical events. His alignment with Feldman suggests a growing willingness among established figures to challenge protected empires. The internet is amplifying these connections. School scandals in South Africa, land disputes in Hawaii, resurfaced party footage, and persistent questions about Epstein list names that never seem to lead to full accountability. Feldman's perseverance stands in stark contrast to the machine that tried to label him unstable, a has-been, or a liar. He emancipated himself from his own mother, accusing her of exploitation. He faced public mockery on talk shows. He spent his own money when no studio would touch the story. And still, he continues documenting, refusing to break the promise he made to his late friend Corey Haim. Whether Oprah's Leadership Academy was truly a beacon of hope or part of a more sinister pattern in a country struggling with fiercely debated. Whether her social ties to Epstein circles received the same soft treatment as her 2002 Iraq coverage is another open question. What cannot be denied is the documented data, flight logs, guest lists, redacted emails, chemical orders, and survivor testimonies that continue to surface. The richest and most powerful people Feldman warned about are no longer entirely in the shadows. Some built daytime television empires, some own private roads and vast land holdings, some hosted or attended the parties where the hunting allegedly occurred. Every document release, every new lawsuit, every whistleblower who decides the conditions have finally shifted makes the next exposure more likely. The head may still be protected for now, but the arms are falling, and with them, the ability to regenerate the same level of secrecy. Coreyfeldman was right before. He may be right again, and if Morgan Freeman is helping shine the light, the awakening Feldman has fought for over 30 years might finally be gaining unstoppable momentum. The beef jerky emails are real. The sulfuric acid order is real. The journal entries are real. The ongoing investigations are real. The question for every viewer is simple. How much longer can influence keep the full truth buried when the evidence keeps surfacing and the victims refuse to stay silent? This story is nowhere near over. The octopus is losing arms faster than it can grow them back. Stay locked in because the head is next. What do you think happened on Epstein's island? Drop your thoughts below. Like if you want more deep dives. Subscribe and turn on notifications. The awakening is accelerating.